Let's go over some holiday hacks for the best seasonal stay yet. So let's go over this article together, guys. Airbnb is sharing tips and tricks to booking this year's holiday travel. Now, one of the things I will share from my personal experience, anytime I go to Big Bear, California, or Lake Arrowhead, which, both are here in SoCal, and we want to rent a cabin, there are a couple of amenities that are a must for me, and I love the fact that I am able to search these amenities with the filter. For example, it is an absolute must to have a jacuzzi when I am staying at an Airbnb. I love the contrast of being able to be in the snow, freezing cold, snowboarding, playing with my daughters, so much fun, and then coming home, having a warm hot chocolate and going in the jacuzzi, which is usually set up outside, so there's snow, but then you're like cozy inside of the jacuzzi. And again, this is one of the filters that you can select. So right here, filter searches to find the perfect winter escape. And that is one of my favorite things that you could do with searching. Now, if you wanted to stay at a property that has a pool, you can also search only properties that have a pool. The other thing that I personally do is I only stay at properties that are hosted by Superhosts. Typically, they cost a little more, right? Because they have the best reviews, the best experiences. But personally, I don't want to risk having a bad experience because by the time we get there, all the great Airbnbs are typically already taken. And so if we're not having a good experience, can you imagine how difficult it's going to be to get relocated to a new Airbnb that's available in the same area? So I'd rather pay a little more and stay at properties that are hosted by Superhost. So that's why you as a host want to make sure you get to Superhost status ASAP. Now, speaking of filters, another thing that is super important is to maximize the amount of people that you allow at your Airbnb, and here's why. Personally, I focus on hosting larger groups of people between the sizes of 8 and up to 12 as far as how many people can stay at my Airbnbs. And the reason I like to do that is 80% of Airbnbs worldwide only host 1 to 4 people. So by going into these larger groups, I am creating a niche for myself. But let me give you a perfect example. Let's say you and your family are traveling and you want to stay at a cabin. And let's say there's 9 of you in the group, but 80% of the properties only host 1 to 4 people. And of the other 20%, most of them host less than 7 people. So let's say only 3% of properties host 9 or more. So guess what? When you as the guest click on the filter that there's 9 people traveling and you want to go to this location on these certain dates, guess what? Only those 3% of properties will actually show up as far as the available inventory. So if you have 6, 7, 8, your properties will not show up. So you want to make sure that you maximize the amount of people that you can host. There's some times where my students and I will set up 2 queen beds side by side in the largest bedroom. Sometimes we'll set up a sofa bed with a pull-out couch where you can pull out a full-size or a queen-size bed and now sleep 2 additional people. We've even gone as far as having a floor mattress that you can fold in the closet whenever it's not being used, just so that we can have the ability to host larger groups of people and have more visibility, more bookings, more revenue, more profit. And the holidays are approaching, right? We got Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. And these are some of the biggest bookings that you will get throughout the whole year. Especially in my area here in Southern California, we're hosting around, the convention centers, the downtowns, a lot of locations where they host conferences, concerts, events, and wedding venues. We're even near the beach for some of our properties. And during those holiday events, again, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, we will often get booked for $1,000 to $2,000 a night just on the main days of those holidays. And that will often cover half of my rent or half of my mortgage on some of these properties, meaning in less than 6 days of bookings during these months, November and December, I am covering all of my expenses, and any bookings after those 6 days, it is all cash flow. So if you want to get into the Airbnb business, I would recommend launching before the holidays. A couple of other tips when you are hosting during the winter season: make sure you provide your guests with additional blankets. And if your HVAC system is not that strong, make sure you have some portable heaters. I know in some of my areas, it gets really cold during the winter season. Good thing is we have really strong, central AC and heat systems. But for those of you that don't, you want to make sure you provide those portable heaters. Set them up in the closet. You can get some little small ones for like $40 on Amazon. Like I said, additional blankets, because if it gets really cold, the last thing you want is your guests complaining in the middle of the night and then asking for partial refunds. Another tip that I recommend during this winter season and all these holidays is to create an element of surprise. Set up a personal notice thanking the guest with their name somewhere near the entrance so they can't miss it, and leave some hot chocolate and marshmallows. Your guests will appreciate this, little gesture, and they are more likely to leave you a great review, because remember, you only have one opportunity to provide a first great impression. They're going to love it. They're going to thank you for it, and they will likely mention it on their review. One of the other filters that I love about Airbnb, and you'll see this at the very top when you go to create a booking that you want to stay at, is they have the different types of properties, right? Do you want to stay in a chalet? Do you want to stay in a tree house? Do you want to stay in a geodesic dome? If you want an A-frame, if you want a cabin versus a house or an apartment. And one of the ways that you can really stand out, in 2024 and beyond, is creating a unique stay for your guest. So again, as you guys can see here on the screen, countryside by design, desert, castles, treehouse, national parks, tiny houses, all these unique experiences that people can choose. If you are able to capitalize on a unique experience where you can stand out from the competition, that's going to give you a competitive edge as well. That being said, guys, those are just a few of the tips that I recommend for the holiday seasons. Remember, start your Airbnb, jump in a game. You cannot win a game that you are not participating in. If you want help launching your Airbnb with or without owning property, click the link in the description to book a complimentary strategy call with my team, and we can see if we are a good fit with each other. That being said, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, where I post content every single day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.